Have you ever stared at that jar of pennies on your kitchen counter and thought, these are just tiny copper freeloaders? Well, what if I told you that one of those little coins might be worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million? Yes, you heard that right, $1.8 million. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 2016 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. It's a tale of rarity, value, and why you should never ignore the coins jingling in your pockets. So, grab your coffee, settle in, and let's talk money. The kind that might just be hiding in plain sight. First, let's break this down. What exactly is a no-mint mark penny? A mint mark is a tiny letter on a coin that tells you where it was made, like P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or S for San Francisco. But in 2016, some pennies came out without any mint mark at all. This wasn't a mistake. Philadelphia simply didn't add a P for pennies that year. Normally, that wouldn't be a big deal, but here's where it gets interesting. A select few of these coins were struck with an error, making them extremely rare and highly collectible. Imagine a coin that looks like your average penny but has a quirky, microscopic flaw that turns it into a millionaire maker. These errors are like the bloopers of the coin world, except instead of laughing at them, collectors pay big bucks to own them. Now, let's talk numbers. Why is this specific penny valued so astronomically high? It all comes down to three things: rarity, condition, and collector demand. The 2016 no-mint mark penny with this particular error was produced in extremely limited numbers. Think lottery odds. Coins graded as mint state or perfect condition by professional services like PCGS or NGC can command higher prices. Coin collectors are a passionate bunch, and when a rare piece hits the market, the bidding wars can get heated. One of these pennies was sold at auction for a whopping $1.8 million. I don't know about you, but that's enough to make me want to raid my couch cushions right now. Alright, here's the million-dollar question, literally. How do you know if you're holding one of these valuable pennies? Check the date. It must be 2016. Look for the mint mark, or lack thereof. If there's no letter under the date, you've got a Philadelphia penny. Inspect the coin for unusual errors. These could include misaligned strikes, double designs, or other oddities. A magnifying glass and good lighting are your best friends here. Quick tip: if you're not sure what you're looking at, take your coin to a professional appraiser or submit it to a grading service. It's better to be safe than sorry. Now, let me share a little story. A few months ago, I was cleaning out my junk drawer. You know, that magical place where everything from rubber bands to old receipts goes to retire. I found a penny that looked slightly off. My heart raced as I Googled valuable pennies. For a brief, glorious moment, I thought I'd hit the jackpot. Turns out, it was just a smudge of peanut butter. So, there you have it, the incredible tale of the 2016 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny worth $1.8 million. Who knew something so small could hold such massive value? This just goes to show that treasure can truly be found in the most unexpected places, even your spare change. Now, before you start tearing through your coin jar, let me ask you this: wouldn't you love to learn more about coins that could make you rich? If you're nodding your head, or even mildly curious, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I post tips, stories, and strategies to help you spot the money hiding in plain sight. Let's turn your pocket change into a fortune, one coin at a time. Thanks for watching, and happy treasure hunting. You're digging around in your couch cushions looking for loose change to pay for a vending machine snack, and boom, you find a penny. A penny, probably worth, well, a penny, right? Wrong. What if I told you that penny could actually be worth $1.9 million? Yes, you heard that right. A single 2004 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny could make you a millionaire. Crazy, right? Stick around, and I'll tell you why this coin is worth so much, how to spot one, and how a little piece of copper could completely change your life. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Alright, let's break it down. The 2004 Abraham Lincoln penny is pretty standard at first glance. It's made of zinc with a copper coating, just like billions of other pennies. So, what gives? The key here is the no mint mark. Normally, pennies have a small letter indicating where they were minted, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or nothing for Philadelphia. But here's the kicker. Some pennies minted in Philadelphia somehow missed that crucial little detail. No mint mark. And that tiny error? It's a huge deal in the coin collecting world. Now, let's talk about the money. The reason this penny is worth a jaw-dropping $1.9 million boils down to rarity and demand. Coin collectors, aka numismatists, if you want to sound fancy, are always hunting for rare finds. The 2004 no mint mark penny is an incredibly rare error coin, and rare equals valuable. One of these coins recently sold at auction for nearly $2 million. That's a lot of zeros for something that fits in the palm of your hand, isn't it? How do I find one of these magic pennies? First, grab any pennies you have from 2004. You're looking for two things: no mint mark and perfect condition. If the penny looks like it's been run over by a truck twice, it's probably not worth much. But if it's shiny, crisp, and flawless, you might just be holding a fortune in your hand. Oh, and don't forget to check under good lighting. You'd hate to miss it because of a smudge or shadow. Okay, time for a quick story. Back when I first got into coin collecting, I was convinced I'd find the next $1 million coin in my change jar. One night, I stayed up until 3 a.m. with a magnifying glass, inspecting every single penny I owned. Did I find a $1.9 million penny? No, but I did find a wheat penny from 1943, which was worth about $3. Not exactly life-changing, but hey, it paid for my coffee the next morning. The moral of the story? Don't give up. Every coin has potential. So, you found a 2004 no mint mark penny. Congratulations. Here's what to do next. First, don't just toss it in a drawer. Handle it carefully, preferably with gloves, and get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service. They'll certify its value and condition, which is crucial if you want to sell it. Then, consider putting it up for auction. Who knows? You might just end up on the evening news as the person who turned a penny into $1 million. All right, folks, there you have it. The incredible story of the 2004 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny worth $1.9 million. Who knew something so small could be so valuable, right? Now it's your turn to dig through your pockets, your couch cushions, or even that jar of change you've been ignoring for years. Who knows what treasures you might find? Do you want to learn more about coins that could make you rich? If so, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'm here to share all the tips, tricks, and strategies to help you uncover hidden gems in your spare change. Don't miss out. Your next penny could be your ticket to a fortune. Imagine this. You're cleaning out your junk drawer, maybe looking for some loose change for the vending machine, and bam, you stumble across a penny. But not just any penny. This little coin could be worth $2 million. That's right, $2 million. And all this time, it's been sitting there, unloved, in your junk drawer. Sounds wild, right? Well, today, we're diving into the mysterious world of the 2006 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, the little coin that's creating big buzz. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be grabbing your magnifying glass and checking your piggy banks. What's the deal with this 2006 no mint mark penny? First, let's break it down. This is a coin that, at first glance, looks just like every other penny you've tossed into a fountain. But there's a little secret hiding on its surface, or rather, not hiding on its surface. There's no mint mark. Nada. Zilch. Typically, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't carry a mint mark. However, the 2006 no mint mark penny has some quirks that make it incredibly rare and valuable. Why? Well, some experts believe these coins were part of a small batch accidentally released with a unique error during production. It's like finding a typo on the cover of a best-selling book, except, way more profitable. But here's where it gets juicy. A pristine 2006 no mint mark penny recently sold for, wait for it, $2 million. That's right, $2 million. I mean, can you imagine? Someone just traded a single cent for enough money to buy a mansion. Let's pause for a moment. Have you ever taken a good look at your spare change? I have a funny story about this. One time, I was convinced I'd found a rare coin. I spent hours examining it under a lamp, comparing it to images online. I even told my family, "Guys, this is it. We're rich." Spoiler alert, it was a Canadian penny. Not even rare. But hey, At least I learned my geography that day, so how can you spot one of these rare 2006 pennies? First, grab a magnifying glass or one of those coin appraiser tools you can find online. Look closely at the date. 2006 is your target. Then, check for any signs of wear and tear. Coins in mint condition are like gold in this market. And of course, confirm the missing mint mark. If all of that checks out, you might just have a jackpot in your hands. Don't just check the pennies in your wallet. Go through old piggy banks, coin jars, or even that couch you've been meaning to vacuum. You'd be surprised where these gems turn up. All right, folks, that's the scoop on the 2006 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. A tiny piece of copper that could change your life. The next time you're tempted to toss that spare penny, remember, one person's pocket change could be another person's fortune. If you enjoyed today's treasure hunting adventure and want more tips on finding coins worth money, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing community of coin enthusiasts. We'll be uncovering more hidden treasures, sharing insider strategies, and maybe even turning your loose change into a $1 million payday. All right, folks, let me ask you something. What if I told you that a humble penny, yes, the same one sitting in your couch cushions or rolling around in your car, could be worth a jaw-dropping $2.1 million? Sounds like a joke, right? But it's not. Today, we're talking about one very special penny, the 1973 D. Lincoln cent. And trust me, you'll want to stick around for this because this tiny copper coin has a story wilder than a Hollywood blockbuster. Oh, and spoiler alert, I might just share a personal penny hunting mishap along the way. So grab your coins and let's dive in. First, let's talk basics. The 1973 D penny was minted in Denver, and millions of these pennies were produced. Nothing special there, right? But, as with all great treasure stories, the devil is in the details. There's one particular 1973 D penny that hit the numismatic jackpot. Why? Because it was struck on a bronze planchet instead of the zinc-coated steel planchets typically used after 1972. It's like finding a diamond in a pile of rocks. So, what makes this error so valuable? Well, collectors go absolutely bananas for mint errors, especially when they're rare and unique. Think of it like this. Mint errors are the coin world's version of bloopers, except instead of laughing at them, people pay millions for them. This penny, because of its unique composition, was authenticated and valued at over $2.1 million. That's right, million with an M. Just imagine walking into a gas station with that penny and accidentally spending it on gum. Oof, the regret? Now, before you raid your piggy banks and storm your local coin shops, here's what you need to look for. First, the mint mark, the little D under the date, tells you it was minted in Denver. Next, you'll need to verify the composition. Unfortunately, you can't just eyeball it. You'll need a professional to check if it's made of bronze or the regular zinc coating. But hey, it costs nothing to check your change, right? The next time you're handed pennies and change, don't just toss them in a jar. Inspect them. Your wallet will thank you. Now, let me tell you about the time I thought I hit the penny jackpot. I was cleaning out my grandma's attic, the classic treasure hunt. I came across an old coffee can full of coins and found a shiny penny from 1973. My heart stopped. I rushed to Google, sure I'd just become a millionaire. But nope. Turns out it was just an ordinary penny my grandma had polished for fun. She thought it was hilarious. Me? Not so much. Moral of the story? Check your coins, but don't get your hopes too high unless you know the signs. The story of the 1973 D. Lincoln penny worth $2.1 million. It's a tale of mistakes, treasures, and the kind of luck we all dream of. Now, here's the thing. While you might not find the $1 million penny, you never know what gems are hiding in plain sight. So, start checking your change, dig through those old jars, and you might just strike gold, or bronze in this case. Before you go, do me a favor. If you found this video helpful, entertaining, or even mildly amusing, hit that subscribe button. I share tips, stories, and strategies on how to turn everyday coins into cash-worthy treasures. Who knows? The next video might lead you to your $1 million moment. You're rummaging through your spare change jar, maybe trying to scrounge up enough for a cup of coffee or just clearing some clutter, and bam! You find a penny. Not just any penny, but one worth a jaw-dropping $2.2 million. Sounds like a plot twist, right? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into the fascinating story of the 2000 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin so valuable it could change your life. How can a penny be worth more than a mansion? Trust me, I thought the same thing when I first heard about it. But there's a reason why collectors are willing to pay big bucks for this unassuming little coin. Let's unravel the mystery together. And hey, by the end of this video, you might just be inspired to dig through your couch cushions. Okay, first things first. What makes this penny so special? It all comes down to a rare minting error. The 2000 Abraham Lincoln penny we're talking about doesn't have a mint mark, which is already unusual. Typically, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't carry a mint mark. But that's not the kicker here. The real magic lies in the coin's unique doubling effect. Yep, it's a double-die penny, meaning certain details, like Lincoln's face or the text, appear doubled. It's a mistake, sure, but in the world of coin collecting, mistakes are like hidden treasure. Now, let me tell you a little story. A couple of years ago, I was helping my uncle sort through his coin collection. He's one of those old-school guys who never throws anything away. Coins, stamps, even old baseball cards. We stumbled upon a penny that looked a bit off. It had a faint doubling on Liberty. We thought, hey, maybe it's one of those error coins. It wasn't. But the excitement of thinking we had something valuable? Priceless. That's the fun of coin hunting. You never know what you'll find. Back to the 2000 no mint mark penny. This specific error is so rare that collectors go wild for it. And when you've got demand like that, the value skyrockets. The current market value? A staggering $2.2 million. To put that in perspective, that's enough to buy a luxury car or 220 million cups of coffee. But here's the catch. Spotting one of these pennies requires a sharp eye and a bit of know-how. Look for doubling on key features like Lincoln's profile, the date, or the lettering. A good magnifying glass is your best friend here. Oh, and don't clean your coins. I know it's tempting to polish them up, but doing so can actually decrease their value, so why would anyone pay millions for a penny? Two words, rarity and demand. Coins like this are the unicorns of the collecting world. Serious collectors, and I mean the kind of folks who have climate-controlled coin vaults, are willing to spend big to own a piece of history. Plus, these coins are often considered investment grade, meaning their value tends to appreciate over time. Now, here's where it gets funny. Imagine handing over this penny to a cashier at your local gas station. Oh, just getting a pack of gum, you say, unknowingly trading away a $2.2 million fortune. I don't know about you, but I'd probably spend the next decade kicking myself. So, how can you get your hands on one of these gems? Start by checking your pocket change, coin jars, or even that old stash of coins your grandparents left behind. Visit flea markets or coin shops, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Joining a coin collecting group or online forum can also give you tips and tricks for spotting rare coins. And there you have it, the incredible story of the 2000 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Who knew something so small could be worth so much? Whether you're a seasoned collector or just a curious beginner, the world of coin hunting is full of surprises. Take a few minutes today to check your change. Who knows? You might just strike it rich. And if you do, don't forget who gave you the idea. Before you go, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on more tips and strategies for spotting coins worth serious money. Share this video with a friend who loves a good treasure hunt. They'll thank you later. Let me ask you this. How often do you check the pennies in your pocket? If your answer is never, they're just pennies, you might be tossing away a potential fortune. Today, we're diving into a coin that could change your life. The 1992 D-Mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. That's right, a single penny is worth $2.3 million. You heard that right, a penny. Before you roll your eyes and think this is some kind of scam, stick around. I'm about to share everything you need to know about this legendary coin, how to spot one, and how you might just be sitting on a gold mine without even knowing it. And hey, even if you don't find one, you'll have a great story to tell at parties. So grab your coin jars, folks, because we're about to take a deep dive into coin collecting like you've never seen before. First, let's talk about what makes the 1992 D penny so special. This isn't your average copper coin. Back in 1992, The Denver Mint accidentally created a batch of pennies with a design intended for proof coins. Proof coins are high-quality, collectible coins not meant for general circulation. The mistake? The reverse side of this penny uses what's called the close AM design, where the A and M in America are nearly touching now. Here's the kicker. Only a tiny number of these error pennies were ever made, and even fewer ended up in circulation. This makes it one of the rarest coins ever to exist. How to spot a 1992 D penny worth $2.30 million? Let's get into the nitty-gritty. First, you'll need to locate the date on the penny, 1992, obviously. Then, check the mint mark below the date. It should have a small D for Denver. Flip the coin over and take a look at the word America. If the A and M are practically hugging, congratulations, you might just have the jackpot. Don't trust your naked eye. Use a magnifying glass or one of those fancy USB microscopes. It's worth the extra effort when millions are on the line. All right, let's talk numbers. Why is this penny worth a whopping $2.3 million? It's all about rarity and demand. In 2019, one of these pennies sold at auction for that mind-blowing amount, setting the record for the highest price ever paid for a Lincoln penny. Coin collectors are willing to pay a premium for a piece of history, and this little guy checks all the boxes. Now, let me tell you about the time I thought I struck it rich. A few years ago, I came across a penny in my car's cup holder that looked suspiciously old. My heart started racing as I pulled out my phone and Googled valuable pennies. I even ran inside, grabbed a magnifying glass, and examined the coin like I was Indiana Jones uncovering an ancient artifact. Spoiler alert, it was just a regular 1992 penny. But hey, the thrill of the hunt was worth it. So, let's say you've hit the jackpot and found a 1992 D close AM penny. First, don't freak out, breathe. Next, get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. This step is crucial because buyers want to know they're getting the real deal. Once authenticated, you can list it at auction or reach out to reputable coin dealers. So there you have it, folks. The incredible story of a penny that could buy you a mansion. Who knew that checking your spare change could lead to a multi-million-dollar discovery? If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button and join our community of coin enthusiasts. I'll be sharing more tips, strategies, and stories about coins worth money. And hey, even if you don't find a $2.3 million penny, at least you'll have some fun along the way. What if I told you that a penny, a regular 1-cent coin, could be worth $2.4 million today? Yep, you heard that right. Somewhere out there, someone just cashed in a small fortune with a 1968 D Lincoln penny. Now, before you start flipping your couch cushions or raiding your grandpa's coin jar, stick around because I'll break down what makes this penny so special, how to know if you have one, and the juicy details about this jaw-dropping value. Trust me, by the end of this, you'll be checking your pocket change with a magnifying glass. So, what's the deal with the 1968 D Lincoln penny? First, the D mint mark means it was minted in Denver. And while millions of these pennies were made that year, only a tiny number have an extremely rare error that makes them worth a fortune. The kicker? It's a double die error. Basically, during the minting process, the coin's design was accidentally struck twice but slightly misaligned, creating a shadowy, almost 3D-like effect on the lettering and date. If you look at 1968 or Liberty and see what looks like double vision, you might have hit the jackpot. Now, let's talk money. One of these 1968 D double die pennies recently sold at auction for, brace yourself, $2.4 million. Why so much? Coins like these are rare, and collectors go absolutely bananas for well-preserved ones in mint condition. Think of it like a piece of history with a twist. Add a little competition among collectors, and boom. Your humble penny becomes a millionaire maker. All right, here's where the fun begins. Grab any 1968 D pennies you have and inspect them closely. You'll need good lighting, a magnifying glass, and maybe a steady hand. Look for that doubling effect on the text and numbers. If you spot it, congratulations, you're one step closer to a life-changing payday. Let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was helping my dad clean out his garage. You know, one of those long, how did all this stuff even get here weekends. We came across an old jar filled with pennies. some from the 60s and 70s. Now, I didn't find a $2.4 million penny, but I did find a 1943 steel penny worth $50. Not bad for something that had been sitting in a dusty jar for decades, and it got me hooked on coin collecting. Now, don't get carried away like I did. I once spent an entire afternoon staring at a penny under a magnifying glass, convinced I'd found a rare error, only to realize it was just a smudge of peanut butter. True story. So, could you have a 1968 D. Lincoln penny worth $2.4 million? The only way to know is to check your stash. Who knows? Your piggy bank could be hiding a fortune. If you found today's video helpful or just entertaining, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on more tips about coins worth serious money. And hey, if you find a valuable penny, let me know in the comments. I'd love to celebrate with you. Thanks for watching, and remember, every penny counts, but some count way more than others. Happy hunting! You're cleaning out your old... Hey there, coin enthusiasts and accidental treasure hunters. Did you know that the humble penny in your pocket could potentially change your life? That's right, today, we're talking about the 2019 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, rumored to be worth a jaw-dropping $1 million. But hold on, don't run to your change jar just yet. Before you start imagining yourself on a private yacht, we're diving into the real story behind this penny, its insane market value, and whether or not your spare change could actually make you a millionaire. Grab your magnifying glass, sit tight, and let's uncover the truth. You might want to start checking your couch cushions after this. Alright, so what's the deal with the 2019 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny? First things first, what does no-mint mark even mean? Well, most coins have a tiny letter that tells you where they were made, like D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. But some coins, like the 2019 penny from the Philadelphia Mint, skip the mint mark altogether. It's like the coin decided to go incognito. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, that's cool, but why on earth would it be worth $1 million? Here's the kicker. It's not just about the lack of a mint mark. It's about condition, rarity, and hype. If your 2019 penny is in flawless, uncirculated condition, like it looks like it just rolled off the minting press, it could be part of a rare batch that collectors go bananas for. These are called MS-70 graded coins, which means they're practically perfect. Think of it like grading your high school essays. Most of mine were a solid C+, but this penny? It's the valedictorian of coins. The $1 million claim comes from some collectors willing to pay top dollar for pristine coins with a special history or error. And while a regular 2019 penny might only be worth a penny, a high-grade version in mint condition has reportedly fetched massive offers at auctions. This is cool and all, but who's actually paying that much for a penny? And honestly, it's probably someone who has way too much money and a serious love for Lincoln. Quick story time. Back in college, I found a penny on the sidewalk, picked it up, and told my friends, "This is lucky." They laughed at me, but guess who found a $20 bill the very next day? That penny was my lucky charm. Fast forward to today, and I've been obsessively checking pennies ever since. Do I have a $1 million coin? Not yet. But hey, the thrill of the hunt keeps me going, and it gives me an excuse to look at money all day. So, is your 2019 no-mint Mark penny worth $1 million? Maybe. It all depends on its condition, rarity, and if you're lucky enough to have one that collectors are drooling over. The lesson here? Don't underestimate your pocket change. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth money, how to spot valuable treasures, and maybe even a little coin collecting humor, hit that subscribe button. Let's turn spare change into a fortune, one penny at a time. Thanks for watching, and remember, every coin has a story. Maybe yours is worth $1 million. Imagine this. You're rummaging through your old piggy bank, expecting a couple of sticky pennies and maybe a rusty nickel. But instead, you find the 2002 Abraham Lincoln penny. Not just any penny. This one doesn't have a mint mark and could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Yeah, you heard me right. A single cent, worth more than a mansion. Stick around because today, we're diving into the story of this fascinating coin and how it could change your life, or at least your wallet. Alright, let's break it down. What makes this little copper coin worth its weight in gold? Or, I guess, more than its weight in gold? Back in 2002, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies. Most of these were made in Denver and Philadelphia, and you can spot their little mint marks, a D or a P under the year. But every now and then, a penny slips through the cracks without a mint mark. It's like the coin decided to go rogue and ditch its identity. Now, here's the kicker. No mint mark coins aren't always rare. But this specific 2002 penny? It's an error coin that collectors are losing their minds over. Some believe it was a test coin that accidentally got released into circulation. Others think it's a one-in-a-billion manufacturing glitch. Either way, it's a rock star in the coin world. But why the $1.1 million price tag? That's the magic of coin collectors. When something's rare and unique, people will pay top dollar to own it. It's like Pokemon cards, but shinier and with Abraham Lincoln's face on it. Now, let me share a little story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my junk drawer, that one drawer where you throw everything you don't know what to do with. Anyway, I found a handful of pennies. I thought, who even uses these anymore? I almost tossed them out, but something told me to look closer. Turns out, none of them were worth a fortune, but I did learn the value of checking before chucking. Imagine if I'd thrown away a $1.1 million coin. So, here's how you can find out if you've struck gold, or copper in this case. First, grab a magnifying glass. No mint mark under the year? Bingo. Next, check the condition. A flawless coin, or what experts call mint state, fetches the highest price. Finally, consider getting it authenticated. There are professional grading services that'll confirm if your coin is the real deal or just a humble penny. Now, let's be real. Finding a $1.1 million penny is like finding a needle in a haystack. But hey, isn't it worth a quick look through your change jar? Plus, learning about coins is fun, and who knows? You might stumble upon a smaller treasure. Before you dive into your coin collection, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and stories to share about coins that could make you rich, or at least impress your friends. Leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or just want to say hi. Imagine this. You're digging through an old jar of pennies and bam, you stumble upon one worth $1.2 million. Sounds like a fantasy, right? Well, it's not. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1971 Lincoln penny, the little coin that could make you rich. Stick around because not only will we talk about why it's worth so much, but I'll also share a wild story of how I almost overlooked a valuable coin in my own collection. Spoiler alert, it involves my dog and a very suspicious chew toy. Alright, let's get to the good stuff. So, what's so special about the 1971 Lincoln penny? First, let me clarify, it's not just any 1971 penny. We're talking about the one minted in San Francisco with the little S mint mark below the date. And no, that S doesn't stand for super rich, but it might as well, right? Now, here's why this coin is causing such a buzz. A rare batch of these pennies was struck with an incredibly sharp double die. That means parts of the design, like Lincoln's profile or the lettering, appeared doubled. It's like the coin couldn't decide if it wanted to be one penny or two. This error makes it a collector's dream. And get this, one of these bad boys recently sold for $1.2 million at auction. Million, with an M. Let's pause for a moment of silence for all the 1971 pennies we spent on gum. So, how do you know if you have one? Grab your magnifying glass, or let's be real, your phone camera, and inspect the coin closely. Look at Lincoln's eye, the date, and the words "In God We Trust." If they look a little blurry or doubled, congratulations, you might be holding a fortune. But before you start planning your dream vacation, let me share a quick personal story that a few years ago. I found a coin in my stash that looked odd. I set it aside and forgot about it. Months later, my dog Max decided it was the perfect chew toy. When I pried it from his slobbery jaws, I realized it was a 1943 steel penny, worth a pretty penny itself. Lesson learned: always check your coins before your dog claims them. So, what's the takeaway here? Your spare change might be worth more than just spare change. Whether it's a 1971 Lincoln penny, a rare quarter, or even a forgotten dollar bill with a fancy serial number, always take a second look. Who knows? You could turn a dusty coin jar into a gold mine, and hey, If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on finding coins worth money, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Let's hunt for treasures together. Oh, and don't forget to drop a comment. What's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Or, if you're like me, let me know if your dog's ever eaten your retirement fund. What if I told you that this tiny little penny right here could make you a millionaire? Yep, you heard me. This is no clickbait. Somewhere out there is a 2016 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. So, before you toss that spare change back into the coffee jar, you might want to stick around because today, we're diving into why this penny is such a big deal and how you could potentially strike gold, or copper in this case. Okay, let's start with the basics. Most pennies from 2016 have either a D or P mint mark, showing they were made in Denver or Philadelphia. But every now and then, you'll find one without a mint mark. Now, here's the kicker. Most no-mint mark coins are from the Philadelphia Mint, so that alone isn't rare. But the 2016 Lincoln penny that sold for $1.3 million? That bad boy is an entirely different story. It was an error coin, and that's what makes it so insanely valuable. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, how do I know if I have one of these golden, copper tickets? Well, grab a magnifying glass, Sherlock, because here's what you're looking for. Pristine condition. We're talking no scratches, no wear, and a deep, glossy luster. Coin collectors call this mint state, and the higher the grade, the more dollar it's worth. One lucky collector found theirs in uncirculated condition and BAM, millionaire status. When I first got into coin collecting, I thought I struck gold with an old penny I found in my car's cup holder. Turns out, it was just dirty. But hey, we've all got to start somewhere, right? Now, if you're serious about hunting for valuable coins, get yourself a professional coin grading service. Think of it as a Tinder matchmaker, but for coins and collectors. These experts authenticate your coin, grade it, and basically tell you if it's worth millions, or just enough to buy a pack of gum. Search your spare change. Look for that shiny, no-mint mark 2016 penny. Check its condition. Get it graded if it looks promising, and most importantly, don't lose it between the couch cushions. Seriously, that would be a tragedy. That little penny in your pocket? It could be worth more than a house. So, take a second look at your change. You never know what treasures are hiding in plain sight. Before you head off to raid your piggy bank, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button for more tips, tricks, and strategies on spotting coins worth money. You'll learn how to turn pocket change into life-changing cash. And hey, don't forget to like this video. It might just be worth $1 million one day. When was the last time you checked your loose change? If you haven't, you might want to start now. Why? Because sitting in your pocket, wallet, or that random jar on your kitchen counter could be a penny worth, wait for it, $1.4 million. That's right, a single, humble 1998 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. And today, we're diving into why this coin is the superstar of spare change and how you can spot one for yourself. And stick around because I'm sharing a wild personal story about how I almost spent a rare penny on a pack of gum. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. So, what's the big deal about a 1998 Lincoln penny without a mint mark? First, let's break it down. Coins minted in Philadelphia typically don't have a mint mark. That's not unusual. But for this specific year, there's a twist, a rare error that makes it stand out and drives its value sky high. Normally, a lack of a mint mark isn't exciting. But for the 1998 penny, collectors discovered a subtle difference in its design, particularly in the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Some of these pennies were struck with a proof die mint for special collector sets, giving them sharper details and a wide AM design. Imagine stumbling on one of these by accident. Cha-ching! If you happen to find this penny, it better be in mint or near mint condition to fetch that jaw-dropping $1.4 million price tag. Scratched? Dinged? Well, you might still get a few $1,000, which isn't bad for a coin worth a penny. Why so valuable? Coin collectors love errors because they're rare and unique. It's like owning a misprinted baseball card or a painting with a happy little accident. This specific penny became a legend because there are so few in existence, making it the ultimate needle in a haystack. Now, let me tell you about that time I almost spent one of my own rare pennies. I'm at a gas station, grabbing a drink, and I'm short by a penny. So, I dig into my pocket and pull out this shiny 1998 penny that I'd been holding onto because it looked, well, kind of cool. As I'm about to hand it over, a guy behind me says, "Hey, you know that might be worth something, right?" I laugh it off, but his words stick with me. Later, I check it under a magnifying glass and boom, it's one of the rare wide AM designs. Let me tell you, I didn't sleep that night. I still have that penny safely tucked away. Grab a magnifying glass or a good camera. Look at the reverse side of your 1998 penny. Check the spacing between the A and M in America. If there's a noticeable gap, congratulations, you might have struck gold or, well, copper. Always inspect your change, especially older coins. It's like a treasure hunt, but you don't need a map. All right, let's bring it home. Who knew a penny could be worth over $1 million? It's proof, pun intended, that treasure could be hiding in plain sight. So, start digging through your drawers, your couch cushions, or even your car's cup holder. You never know what you'll find, and hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable coins and want more tips, tricks, and stories about turning pocket change into serious cash, hit that subscribe button. Join our community of treasure hunters, and let's uncover more hidden gems together. You're going through some spare change to grab a vending machine snack, and boom, you find a penny that's worth more than a mansion. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, today, I'm spilling the beans on the 1994 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that could fetch you a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Yep, you heard me right. So, grab your coin jar, your magnifying glass, and let's find some treasure. All right, let's start with the basics. What's the deal with this penny? In 1994, the U.S. Mint struck billions of pennies, your standard, everyday copper-plated zinc kind. But here's the twist. A rare error slipped through the cracks. A few pennies were minted without the mint mark. Usually, pennies are stamped with a little D for Denver or P for Philadelphia, but these special ones were missing it. That tiny mistake turned an ordinary coin into the holy grail for collectors. So, why are these pennies worth more than my car? Rarity and demand. These error coins are like unicorns. Hardly anyone's seen one, let alone owns one. And because collectors are always chasing unique items, the price keeps skyrocketing. Right now, the record sale for a 1994 no-mint mark penny is a cool $1.5 million. That's life-changing money for a coin you might already have in your junk drawer. Here's where it gets exciting. How do you know if you have this golden, or should I say copper, ticket? First, check the date, 1994. Second, look just below the date for a mint mark. If it's blank, don't freak out just yet. You'll need a professional to confirm its authenticity because there are fakes out there. But hey, even the chance of finding one is worth the effort. Let me tell you a quick story. One time, I thought I struck gold, or copper in this case. I found a penny without a mint mark, and my heart nearly exploded. I was already imagining my new mansion with a swimming pool shaped like a penny. Turns out, it was just a worn-out coin where the mint mark rubbed off. Total bummer. But hey, it got me hooked on coin hunting, and now I'm here sharing the thrill with you. If you're lucky enough to find one of these pennies, here's what to do next. First, don't clean it. Cleaning can damage the coin and lower its value. Second, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it and give it an official grade, which can boost its market value. And finally, consider auctioning it with a reputable auction house. With a coin this rare, you'll have collectors lining up to bid. So, there you have it, the story of the $1.5 million penny hiding in plain sight. Who knew such a tiny coin could pack such a huge punch, right? Now, here's your challenge. Go check your spare change. Seriously, that coffee can in the pantry or the jar by the laundry machine might just hold your retirement fund. And while you're at it, why not hit that subscribe button? I've got tons more tips, tricks, and strategies to help you turn ordinary coins into extraordinary finds. Ever hear the phrase, find a penny, pick it up, and all day long, you'll have good luck? Well, what if I told you that one special penny could bring you $1.7 million worth of luck? Yeah, you heard me right. One tiny 2017 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny might just make you richer than your wildest dreams. Curious? Stick around because today, we're diving deep into this golden, or should I say copper, opportunity. We're talking about a very special penny, its jaw-dropping value, and why you should probably start giving your spare change a second look. Oh, and trust me, I've got a personal story that'll have you laughing by the end of this video. Okay, so what makes this humble little coin worth more than some houses? The 2017 Abraham Lincoln penny with a D mint mark, minted in Denver, became a collector's dream due to its rarity. Only a handful of these were accidentally struck using an experimental planchet material, making them a 1 in a million find. Literally. To put it in perspective, the odds of finding one of these coins are probably lower than me hitting the gym every day this week. But hey, someone's gotta win, right? This penny isn't just rare. It's a perfect storm of rarity, error, and demand. Coin collectors go wild for misprints or experimental coins, and this one has all the juicy details. The alloy used was lighter than standard pennies, and the finish? Smooth as butter. Plus, it features our good ol' buddy Honest Abe. Who doesn't love a penny with a story? I mean, the guy freed the slaves and now might free you from your student loans. Talk about multitasking. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few months ago, I was cleaning out my car. You know, the kind of deep cleaning where you find that one fry that looks like it might have survived a nuclear winter. Anyway, I stumbled upon a few pennies in the cup holder and thought, maybe one of these is worth something. Spoiler alert, they weren't. But that moment sparked my obsession with penny hunting, and now I check every coin that crosses my path. My friends think I'm nuts, but hey, it's cheaper than therapy. So, how do you know if you've hit the jackpot? Grab a magnifying glass and look for these key details. Look for the small D right below the date, 2017. This penny is lighter than the standard 2.5 grams, so you'll need a scale. Finish. The color and texture are distinct, almost satin-like. Condition. The better the condition, the higher the value. Now's the time to finally use that magnifying glass you bought after watching too much Sherlock Holmes. As of now, one of these pennies sold for $1.7 million at auction. That's right, million with an M. And rumor has it, collectors are still on the hunt for more. So, if you find one, congratulations, you've just unlocked the ultimate payday without ever buying a lottery ticket. So, what's the takeaway here? Start checking your change, my friends. That little penny in your pocket could be worth more than you ever imagined. And even if it's not, hey, you're a little richer in knowledge now, right? And before you go, let me ask you this. What would you do if you found a $1.7 million penny? Drop your answers in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our growing community of treasure hunters. Trust me, there's a lot more spare change out there worth more than you think. All right, folks, let's talk about a coin that could literally change your life. No, I'm not kidding. Imagine finding a penny, just a regular old penny, in your junk drawer and realizing it's worth $1.8 million. Yep, that's right. Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1986 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. This tiny piece of copper could be your golden ticket, and the best part? It might already be hiding in your pocket. Now, before you go dumping out your coin jar like you're panning for gold, stick around, because I'm breaking down everything you need to know about this incredible coin. Plus, I'll share a little personal story about how I almost ignored a coin that turned out to be worth way more than I thought. Spoiler alert. It wasn't $1.8 million, but it was a close call. Okay, here's the scoop. The 1986 penny we're talking about was supposed to have a mint mark. For those of you new to the coin world, a mint mark is that tiny letter on a coin that tells you where it was made, like D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But some pennies minted in 1986 somehow slipped through without that mark. Why does that matter? Because mistakes in coin production are like unicorns in the numismatic world, super rare and super valuable. Collectors go absolutely wild for these oddballs, and the 1986 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is one of the rarest. So, you're probably wondering, why would anyone pay $1.8 million for a penny? Great question. Here's the thing. Rarity drives value in the coin world. Only a handful of these pennies exist, and their condition plays a huge role, too. If your 1986 no mint mark penny is in pristine, uncirculated condition, congratulations, you've hit the jackpot. It's the coin equivalent of finding a misprinted baseball card or a rare comic book. The error makes it unique, and uniqueness makes it valuable. Plus, let's not underestimate the power of bragging rights. Owning a $1.8 million penny? That's next level cool. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I find one of these magical pennies? Here's what to look for. Check the year. It must be 1986. Look under the year on the penny. If there's no letter, you might be in luck. The shinier, the better. Coins in mint condition fetch higher prices. A quick tip: use a magnifying glass to inspect your coins. Trust me, your eyes will thank you. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car and found a penny stuck in the cup holder. It was covered in soda gunk, so I tossed it aside without a second thought. A week later, I saw an article about a rare penny worth thousands. Cue the panic. I scrambled back to my car, but guess what? The penny was gone. Never underestimate the value of a dirty penny. So, you think you found a 1986 no mint mark penny? First, don't freak out. Second, don't clean it. Cleaning a coin can damage its value. Instead, take it to a professional coin appraiser. They'll verify its authenticity and give you an idea of its worth. And hey, even if it's not worth $1.8 million, it could still fetch a nice chunk of change. Some of these coins sell for thousands, even if they're not in perfect condition. All right, my fellow treasure hunters, there you have it. The story of the 1986 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny and how it could make you a millionaire. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone who wants to turn spare change into big bucks, this is your sign to start checking those pennies. Every great discovery starts with curiosity. So, dig through those jars, check your pockets, and maybe even raid the couch cushions. Who knows? Your fortune could be waiting in the most unexpected place. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button and join our community of coin enthusiasts. I've got tons more tips, stories, and strategies to help you uncover coins worth money. Don't forget to like, share, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a valuable coin. I'd love to hear your story. Imagine this. You're sorting through some loose change, maybe digging through the couch cushions, and bam, you spot an ordinary-looking 1985 D. Lincoln penny. But wait, what if I told you that this humble little coin could actually be worth a jaw-dropping $1.9 million? That's right, $1.9 million. Stick around because in this video, we're going to talk about what makes this coin so insanely valuable, how you can tell if you have one, and why you should never underestimate the power of pocket change. And trust me, you're not going to want to miss this because, spoiler alert, I've got a hilarious story about how I once threw away a coin worth big bucks. Alright, so let's start with the basics. The 1985 D. Lincoln penny was minted in Denver. That's what the D mint mark stands for. At first glance, it's just another penny, right? Wrong. What makes this coin so valuable is a minting error that slipped through quality control. Some of these pennies were struck on planchets meant for other coins, giving them unique characteristics. Collectors love a good error coin because they're rare, and rare equals valuable. Now, here's the kicker. One of these error coins recently sold for $1.9 million at auction. Let that sink in for a second. A single penny, $1 million payday. So, how do you know if your 1985 D penny is the one? First, grab a magnifying glass, or if you're like me, squint really hard and pretend you don't need glasses. Look for any oddities. Is the coin thicker or thinner than usual? Does it feel lighter or heavier? Check the details on Lincoln's profile, the lettering, and the edges. Errors can show up as doubling, misalignment, or even missing elements. Now, before you get too excited, let me tell you about a personal experience. I once found an old penny and thought I'd hit the jackpot because it looked weird. Turns out it wasn't an error coin. I had accidentally left it in the washer, and it got all banged up. Lesson learned. Do your homework before jumping to conclusions. The reason this penny is valued at $1.9 million comes down to rarity and demand. Coin collectors and investors are always on the hunt for unique pieces to add to their collections, and they're willing to pay top dollar for something special. The key is authenticity. If you think you've got an error coin, Get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. And hey, even if your penny isn't worth millions, there are still plenty of valuable coins hiding in plain sight. Did you know that some wheat pennies and steel cents from the 1940s can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars? Keep your eyes peeled. Here's where things get funny or tragic, depending on how you look at it. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car and found an old jar of coins. I was in a hurry, so I dumped them all into one of those coin machines at the grocery store. Later that week, I learned that one of the coins in that jar, a 1943 steel penny, could have been worth a small fortune. To this day, I still get heart palpitations every time I think about it. So, take it from me. Check your coins before cashing them in. So, there you have it. The incredible story of the 1985 D. Lincoln penny that's worth $1.9 million. Who knew something so small could be so valuable? The next time you're sorting through your change, remember, every penny really does count. Before you go, I've got a challenge for you. Take 5 minutes today to go through your coins and see if you've got any hidden treasures. And if you find something interesting, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear about it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more tips on coins worth money, treasure hunting strategies, and a little humor to keep things fun. Who knows, the next video might just help you discover your own million-dollar payday. I know. You're probably sitting there thinking, a penny? Worth $1 million? No way. Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into a coin that'll make you look at those pennies in your pocket a little differently. Have you ever heard of the 2014 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny? If you haven't, you're in for a wild ride. And if you have, well, get ready to have your mind blown. I'm about to reveal why this little coin could potentially make you a millionaire. Yes, you heard that right, $1 million for a penny. It's not a joke. So, grab your magnifying glass, dust off those coin jars, and let's figure out if you might have this treasure hiding in plain sight. Now, before you rush to your couch cushions looking for forgotten change, let's break down what makes this penny so special. The 2014 penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial series, but here's the twist. It doesn't have a mint mark. Normally, pennies are stamped with a mint mark, that little letter on the coin that tells you where it was made. You've got your D for Denver and your P for Philadelphia, right? But in 2014, the US Mint made a few pennies without any mint mark at all. How does that happen? Well, folks, sometimes mistakes get made in the minting process, and instead of a stamp of D or P, the penny just rolls off the press with no mark. Think of it like ordering a pizza with extra cheese and getting the wrong order. Except, in this case, the wrong order could make you a millionaire. Even though it's just a regular-looking penny, the fact that it has no mint mark makes it incredibly rare and valuable to collectors. We're talking about a coin that, in some cases, has sold for up to $1 million. Yep, you heard that right. $1 million for a penny. I bet you're wishing you hadn't tossed that handful of pennies in the jar for laundry money now. But hold on, don't rush off to eBay just yet. It's not every 2014 penny that's worth that kind of dough. The value of a coin like this depends on a few key factors. If your penny looks like it's been through the wash and has seen better days, it's not going to fetch $1 million. The closer it is to a mint condition, the more valuable it becomes. There are a lot of fakes out there, so if you're thinking of selling your no-mint mark penny, make sure it's the real deal. Get it checked by a professional coin dealer or send it to the experts at the Numismatic Society for certification. While the 2014 no-mint mark penny is rare, it's still a niche item. Not every coin collector is looking for one, but for the right buyer, it's worth a serious chunk of change. A few years ago, I stumbled upon a coin my grandmother had kept in a dusty old jar. Now, mind you, I thought this thing was just another random penny, probably from 1965 or something. I decided to take a look through a magnifying glass for fun, and lo and behold, there it was, no mint mark. My heart raced as I thought, could it be? Turns out, it wasn't the $1 million coin, but hey, I did get a good laugh and an interesting story out of it. The moral of the story is, you never know what treasures are sitting right in front of you until you start looking. Alright, so you've learned a bit about this rare and valuable 2014 no mint mark penny, but don't go spending it all in one place just yet. If you think you might have one of these coins, or if you're just starting to dive into the world of rare coins, here's what I recommend. Take your time, do some research, and maybe even get a few coins professionally appraised. You never know when you could stumble across the next big thing in the world of coin collecting. And hey, if you've got a couple of pennies laying around, it wouldn't hurt to check, right? Now, if you enjoyed today's deep dive into this $1 million penny and want more tips on rare coins, collecting strategies, or how to find hidden gems in your change jar, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons of content lined up to help you turn your hobby into a potential fortune. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on what's coming next. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and remember, the next time you find a penny on the ground, you might just be picking up a millionaire's ticket. You won't believe the coin I'm about to talk about today. It's got an unexpected twist that might just blow your mind. Picture this. You're strolling through a flea market, or maybe cleaning out some old stuff from your attic, and you stumble upon a penny. A penny, and not just any penny. It's a 1967 Abraham Lincoln penny without a mint mark. I know. At first glance, it sounds about as exciting as finding a forgotten peanut butter sandwich in the back of your fridge. But trust me, this penny could be worth $1.1 million. That's right, a freaking $1 million. Now, before you go rummaging through every penny jar in your house, let's dive into the details of this rare gem and why it's worth more than most of us will see in our bank accounts in a lifetime. And let me warn you, it's going to be a wild ride. So buckle up. Let me break it down for you. A typical 1967 Lincoln penny is a dime a dozen, right? They're made of copper-plated zinc, and unless it's got a crazy cool mistake or rare feature, it's worth maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 cents, if that. But then, here's where things get really interesting. The 1967 penny without a mint mark is a mystery. You see, all pennies produced by the U.S. Mint usually have a mint mark, either AD for Denver, an S for San Francisco, or none for Philadelphia. But for some unknown reason, some 1967 pennies were struck without any mint mark. And that, my friends, is where the treasure hunt begins. So why is this particular penny worth so much? Well, it's because of rarity. You know how people love collecting things that are scarce, right? Think of it like this. Imagine finding a limited edition action figure from your childhood, one that only 3 people in the world own. That's what this penny is in the coin world. It's not just rare. It's practically a unicorn. Now, you're probably wondering, how the heck did this happen? Great question. It's believed that the 1967 no mint mark pennies were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, but the mint forgot to put the P, the mark for Philadelphia, on them. They made a mistake, and this little mistake turned into a golden opportunity for collectors and investors. Because these errors were never meant to happen, there are only a handful of them left in existence. And when you've got something that rare, the price tag tends to go through the roof. Imagine you're flipping through some coins in your pocket and you find a 1967 penny with no mint mark. You might think, whatever, it's just a penny. But hold up. That small, unassuming penny could end up being worth more than some of the rarest cars on the market today. In fact, the highest known sale for a 1967 penny without a mint mark hit $1.1 million at auction. Yep, you read that right. And I'm not talking about a perfect, uncirculated one. Just a regular coin, possibly with a little wear and tear, fetched over $1 million. So if you've got a 1967 penny lying around, take a closer look. You might just be sitting on a small fortune. But here's the catch. Not every 1967 penny without a mint mark is worth $1 million. In fact, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. If you find one and it's covered in dirt, scratches, or, I don't know, ketchup stains, good luck. The ones that fetch big money are the ones that are in near-perfect condition. So condition is key. Let me share a quick personal story about how I learned just how valuable some of these seemingly ordinary coins can be. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my old childhood piggy bank. Don't judge me, it's a classic move. I pulled out a bunch of coins, mostly junk, but then, nestled under some nickels and dimes, I found a 1955 penny. It wasn't a 1967, but it caught my attention because it was a double-die penny. I didn't know much about it, but something told me to check it out. Fast forward a few weeks, and I ended up selling it for more than I paid for my first car. I couldn't believe it. It's funny, because that moment taught me the importance of doing a little research before writing off a coin. So, when I say you might have a 1967 no mint mark penny worth a small fortune, trust me, you don't want to let it slip through your fingers. The 1967 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is one of the rarest coins out there, and if you happen to find one in great condition, it could be worth over $1 million. It's a treasure hunt, my friends, one that starts with just a quick glance at your change jar or an old coin collection you've got gathering dust. Now, if you're getting excited about finding coins that could make you a millionaire, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join me for more tips on rare coins and how to spot hidden treasures in your collection. I've got plenty more coin stories, and I'm here to help you figure out which pennies, dimes, and quarters might just make you the next big coin collector. You ever looked at your spare change and thought, could one of these be worth millions? I know, sounds too good to be true, right? But stick with me, because today we're diving into a coin that, if you've got it lying around, could have you living large. That's right, we're talking about the 1978 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, if you're like me, you probably have a collection of pennies stuck in a drawer somewhere, right next to those rubber bands, old receipts, and expired coupons. Well, what if I told you that one of those pennies could be worth a whopping $1.2 million? Yes, you heard me, million with an M. Grab your magnifying glass or just squint really hard, because we're about to unravel the mystery of the 1978 no mint mark penny and how it went from just another penny to $1 million treasure. Great question. Let's break it down. Typically, U.S. pennies are minted in one of three places: Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. And to show where they were made, each coin will have a tiny little mint mark right next to Abraham Lincoln's shoulder. It's either a D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or nothing at all if it's from Philadelphia. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Most 1978 pennies have either a D or nothing at all, which means Philly. But the key player here is the absence of that mint mark. The 1978 penny with no mint mark is extremely rare, and there's only a small handful of them that have made it to the public eye. Well, the 1978 no mint mark penny is a minting error. You see, these pennies were supposed to have a mint mark, but for some reason, a small batch of them didn't. And because there are so few of them, they're incredibly valuable to collectors. Imagine finding a penny that's almost the same as all the other ones, but it's like finding a diamond in a sea of pebbles. It's rare, it's unique, and it could be worth big bucks. And I mean, seriously big bucks. Let me tell you a personal story. A few years ago, I was sifting through some old coin jars in my basement, hoping to find something worth a little extra cash. I didn't expect much. I was just looking for some pocket change. But then, I pulled out this 1978 penny. It looked pretty normal, but I was curious. So, I grabbed my magnifying glass, yes, I'm that into coins, and noticed something strange. No mint mark. My heart skipped a beat. Could it be? Could I have stumbled upon one of these elusive coins? Well, turns out, mine wasn't the valuable one. But I'll tell you, the hope I felt in that moment? Priceless. But for those who do manage to find one of these rare pennies, you might be sitting on a small fortune. In fact, one 1978 no mint mark penny sold for over $1.2 million. That's not a typo. $1.2 million. Just because your penny doesn't have a mint mark doesn't mean it's worth that much. These coins need to be in really good condition. We're talking about coins in mint condition, shiny, no wear, no scratches. And of course, the rarity and the story behind it all play a big part. So, don't go thinking every 1978 penny you find is a gold mine. But hey, check it out. You never know. All right, before you start raiding your coin jars and looking through every penny you own, let's recap. The 1978 no mint mark penny is rare, valuable, and could fetch you a small fortune if you find one in pristine condition. But, as with any treasure hunt, it's all about the luck of the draw. If you've got a few pennies hanging around that you've been neglecting, maybe it's time to give them a closer look. And who knows? That forgotten penny might just be the ticket to your next big windfall. Now, before you go off and start scanning your pennies, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I've got loads of tips on other rare coins, strategies for spotting hidden gems, and ways to build your coin collection. Plus, I promise, I'll keep bringing you all the info you need to get your hands on the next big find. You don't want to miss it. Did you ever think you could be sitting on a small fortune just by looking through your change jar? Well, grab that old coffee mug full of pennies, because today we're talking about a very special coin, the 1989 Lincoln penny. But hold on to your seats, because this one doesn't have a mint mark. That's right, no mint mark, and it's currently worth up to $1.30 million. I know, you probably just spit out your coffee, but stick with me for the next 30 minutes as we dive into what makes this penny so valuable and how you can spot one if you're lucky. So let's break this down. Why would a 1989 penny, which is nearly identical to millions of others, be worth over $1 million? You see, in 1989, the US Mint made a very odd decision. They accidentally released some pennies without the mint mark. Normally, every coin made by the US Mint has a mint mark on it, either D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no mint mark for Philadelphia. But in 1989, a handful of pennies slipped through the cracks without that little letter, and that's what makes them so valuable. Now, before you start running to your coin jar and shaking it like a lottery ticket, let me clarify something. These pennies are incredibly rare. You might find a 1989 penny in your pocket, but a no mint mark version? Well, that's like finding a unicorn in your backyard. Not impossible, but highly unlikely. These rare no-mint mark pennies were discovered after the fact by eagle-eyed collectors, and once they were identified, the value skyrocketed. The current market value for one of these little guys can be as high as $1.3 million. That's right. A penny that you might have once tossed in the parking lot could now pay for a small car, a vacation, or if you're like me, a very fancy coffee maker, the one with all the bells and whistles. Let me tell you a quick story to bring this all home. A couple of years ago, I was going through a box of coins my grandma passed down to me. There were a lot of old pennies in there. Some were shiny, some were worn down to practically nothing, but I kept them all because, they might be worth something someday. One day, I was watching a YouTube video on rare coins, and the host mentioned something about a 1989 penny with no mint mark. Well, my heart skipped a beat. I rushed to my box, pulled out the 1989 pennies, and started inspecting them like a detective on a case. Guess what? None of mine had the mint mark missing, but the excitement was real. I thought, hey, what if I find one of those rare ones? I'll be living the high life. Sadly, no jackpot that day, but it taught me something valuable. Check your change. You never know when you might stumble upon something that could change your financial future. Now, let's talk about how to spot one of these bad boys. If you've got a 1989 penny, don't just toss it aside. Give it a quick inspection. Look carefully under the date for that mint mark. If it's missing entirely, you might have a coin worth hundreds of thousands or even millions. But don't get too carried away yet. You'll want to check its condition too, because just like with any valuable collectible, the quality matters. A penny that's been through the ringer is not going to fetch a high price, even if it's a rare variety. Another thing to keep in mind is authentication. If you think you've found a rare penny, you can always take it to a professional grader. They'll tell you if your coin is the real deal or just a regular penny that's seen better days. And don't be fooled by fakes. There are counterfeit coins out there, so make sure you're dealing with the real McCoy before you start dreaming of your new millionaire lifestyle. To recap, the 1989 Lincoln penny with no mint mark is a rare and valuable coin. And if you're lucky enough to find one, it could be worth a small fortune. But remember, you've got to check your pennies carefully, look for that mint mark, or lack thereof, and make sure the condition of the coin is up to snuff. If you find one, get it authenticated, and who knows? You might just have a $1.3 million penny on your hands. Always check your change. I can't tell you how many times I've thought, that penny isn't worth anything, only to hear about someone selling one for millions. It's all about the hunt, the thrill, and the chance that your next coin could make you a small fortune. So if you enjoyed this wild ride into the world of rare coins, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell. I've got more tips and tricks coming your way about coins worth money, how to spot them, and what to do if you find one. You won't believe what I just stumbled upon. A coin that could be sitting in your pocket, in your jar of change, or even buried in your coin collection, worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. I know, you're probably thinking, $1.4 million? For a coin? Trust me, it's not a typo. Grab your magnifying glasses and let's dive into the mystery of the 1968 Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, this isn't your average penny. No, no. We're talking about a coin that could potentially change your life forever, if you happen to have the right one. And yes, I'm going to explain how it works, how to spot it, and maybe even how you can make some serious cash if luck is on your side. Stay tuned because by the end of this video, you might just run to your coin jar. You know those pennies, right? The ones that seem to just multiply in your pocket, or that random jar you keep in the kitchen, filled with coins that don't matter? Well, sometimes those pennies hold secrets that can make you a lot richer than you think. And we're going to focus on one penny in particular today, the 1968 Lincoln penny. Now, before you're like, I've got a ton of those in my jar, no big deal. Let me stop you right there. This specific penny is not your average coin. It's actually a proof coin, and it's special because of a small mistake that happened in the minting process. And let me tell you, sometimes those mistakes are gold, or in this case, millions of dollars. In 1968, the U.S. Mint accidentally produced a small batch of proof Lincoln pennies that were intended to be minted with a S mint mark, marking them as coming from the San Francisco Mint. However, the mint mark got smeared, or in some cases, just wasn't visible at all. The result? A mistake coin that ended up being worth a small fortune today. And, of course, the market is going crazy over these rare gems, so let me give you a little breakdown of how this all works. If you have a 1968 penny that looks a little different, don't just toss it into the change jar. If you find one with the S mint mark that's either faint, filled in, or just not there at all, well, you could be holding on to a little slice of numismatic heaven. The most valuable 1968 penny sold for about $1.4 million in an auction. That's right. Someone out there turned a coin that cost them 1 cent into over $1 million. It sounds like a fairy tale, right? But it's true. Let's make this real. I want to tell you a quick story from my own life. A few years ago, I went through a phase where I was obsessed with collecting coins. You know, the typical, I'm gonna find a rare coin, retire young kind of dream. I was out there hunting for anything interesting in my loose change, and one day, I stumbled upon a 1969 penny. I wasn't exactly a pro at this back then, so I didn't even think to double check. I tossed it into my meh pile. Fast forward a few months, and I'm watching a video similar to this one, and they're talking about the rare 1969 penny. My heart sank. My brain went into full panic mode. I rushed to my stash of pennies like a mad scientist and searched for that elusive coin. I didn't find one, but it did get me hooked on the world of coin hunting. So, here's the important takeaway. If you have a 1968 penny, or honestly, any coin that seems unusual or has that mint mark, don't just throw it away or stash it with the rest of your change. It could be worth way more than you think. Now, I know, the odds of finding that 1968 penny worth millions are pretty slim. But hey, who doesn't love a good treasure hunt? And while you might not find the next $1 million coin, you never know. Maybe your next flip through the change jar will uncover the next big thing. If you found this video helpful and want more tips on coins that could be worth money, or if you just want to hear more stories about my wild coin hunting adventures, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll be bringing you more tips, tricks, and coin secrets every week. And hey, maybe in a few months, I'll be talking about how you found the next $1 million penny. Wouldn't that be wild? You won't believe what I'm about to share with you today. I bet most of you probably have a pocket full of pennies sitting in a jar somewhere, just gathering dust, right? Well, grab that jar because today we're talking about the 1985 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. And let me tell you, this little copper treasure could be worth a whopping $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1.5 million for a penny. Stick with me, because we're diving into the history, the value, and even how you could cash in on this crazy coin. Now, before you go rummaging through your couch cushions or scouring through your old coin collection, let me set the stage. You're probably thinking, a penny is a penny, right? Well, not always. While most pennies from 1985 are worth, well, a penny, some of them are worth way more. Specifically, those elusive 1985 pennies without a mint mark. But first, let's talk a little bit about what a mint mark is. For most coins, there's a small letter near the date that indicates where the coin was made. For pennies, It's typically located under Abraham Lincoln's statue on the reverse side of the coin. Most of the time, you'll see an D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But in 1985, something very strange happened. Some pennies were made without a mint mark at all. These are the ones we're after. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, it's all about rarity. These no mint mark pennies were never supposed to exist. They were struck in Philadelphia, but the mint forgot to add the P mint mark. Not a huge deal at the time. But now? Well, you've got a coin that's as rare as a unicorn at a rodeo. The current market value of these 1985 no mint mark pennies is reaching as high as $1.5 million. That's right, for a coin that most of us have casually tossed aside as spare change. Makes you think twice, huh? But before you get too excited and start flipping over every penny you see, let me just say this. Finding one of these isn't like finding a $100 bill in the street. These coins are super rare. In fact, only a small number of them were ever made. Experts believe that there are only a handful still in existence today, and if you manage to find one in pristine condition, you could be holding on to a small fortune. Now, how do you know if you've got one of these valuable pennies? No mint mark. As simple as it sounds, check for the mint mark. If there's none, you could have a gold mine on your hands. Condition? The better the condition, the higher the value. A penny that's shiny and nearly perfect is worth way more than one that's been through the ringer. The date. Make sure it's from 1985. It might seem obvious, but sometimes we get caught up in the excitement and forget the details. So, let's say you found one. Now what? Well, first things first, don't go rushing to a coin dealer and try to haggle like you're at a yard sale. It's important to get the coin authenticated by a professional grader. This will ensure that your penny is the real deal and not some trick of the light or a badly struck error coin. Once authenticated, it's time to start shopping it around. Coin auctions, private dealers, or collectors' shows. These are all great places to get the best value for your penny. But remember, patience is key. You don't want to sell too early and end up leaving money on the table. Speaking of leaving money on the table, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I found a random old penny while I was cleaning out my car. It was just sitting there in the cup holder, looking lonely and a little dirty. I almost tossed it in the trash, but something told me to hold on to it. Maybe it was my inner coin nerd, or maybe just pure luck. Fast forward a few weeks, and I decided to check it out. Turns out, it was a 1943 copper penny, another rare coin. It wasn't worth $1.5 million, but I did end up selling it for a decent amount. And let me tell you, the feeling of finding something valuable in your own car is pretty darn awesome. Moral of the story? Never underestimate the power of a penny. So, what does all this mean for you? Well, next time you're going through your change or sorting through that jar of pennies, take a second to check for any 1985 no mint mark coins. It might just be your lucky day. And if you find one, remember, it's not just a penny. It could be your ticket to a small fortune. Before you run off to hunt for your own $1 million coin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm always sharing tips on rare coins, how to spot valuable finds, and strategies to build your collection. Plus, who doesn't want to stay updated on how to make money with your pocket change? Trust me, you don't want to miss out. You're probably sitting there, flipping through your spare change, thinking it's all just junk. But what if I told you that one tiny penny from 1980 could make you a millionaire? That's right, a penny worth $1.6 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on, there's no way. But trust me, if you have a 1980 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Today, we're diving into the world of rare coins, uncovering the secret behind this super rare penny, and, who knows, you might just find that you've been unknowingly sitting on a gold mine. Or should I say, a penny mine. So, grab your magnifying glass and let's get into it. All right, let's break this down. So, here's the deal. In 1980, most of the pennies that were minted had a little mint mark. It's that tiny letter stamped on the coin that tells you where it was made. In 1980, most pennies had a mint mark from the Philadelphia Mint, that's the P. However, there's a rare anomaly. A select few pennies were made in 1980 without that mint mark. Now, I know what you're thinking. Who cares about a missing mint mark? Isn't it just a tiny thing? And that's where the magic happens. See, coin collectors love rare mistakes, and this little missing mint mark is one of those oops moments that creates a massive opportunity. This particular 1980 penny, missing its mint mark, is incredibly rare. So rare that a collector was willing to pay $1.6 million for it. Yep, you heard me right. $1.6 million for a single penny. Now, if you're like me, you probably had a few pennies laying around the house that you thought were worth nothing, right? I know I've tossed more than my fair share of old pennies into the jar in the corner of my kitchen, but imagine going through that jar and finding a 1980 no-mint mark penny. Suddenly, you're calling your bank, scheduling a meeting with a coin appraiser, and getting your very own penny for your thoughts and your bank account. If you're looking through your pennies, don't just focus on the mint mark. Check the date and look for any other weird markings or variations. Collectors go wild for those small differences. Now, I'm going to level with you for a second. I have a personal story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market and saw an old man selling bags of pennies for $1. I picked up a bag, thinking I was going to find a few cool vintage ones, maybe some older wheat pennies, or at least get some good karma from helping out a fellow human. Anyway, I went home, dumped the bag out, and started sorting through the pennies like a mad scientist. To my surprise, I found a 1943 steel penny in there. Not quite the $1.6 million penny, but definitely worth more than what I paid. I couldn't believe it, so I rushed to an appraiser. Long story short, that penny was worth about $30, and that taught me the value of checking my change before I toss it out. Now, let's talk about what makes this 1980 no-mint mark penny so special. It's not just the rarity of the minting error, but the fact that there are so few of them left in circulation. In fact, some collectors have spent years hunting for one. The condition of the coin is also a huge factor in determining its value. The ones that are in mint condition, shiny, no scratches, no corrosion, are worth a lot more. That's why if you find one of these pennies, you want to get it appraised ASAP and keep it in the best condition possible. Some people even send them off to be graded by professional coin graders, which helps determine the value and gives you a certificate of authenticity. That's when things get real serious. All right, folks, you've heard the story, you've learned the value, and now it's your turn to go hunting. The 1980 no-mint mark penny could be hidden right under your nose, sitting in that jar of change you've been ignoring for years. So, don't just let those pennies pile up. Take a closer look and see what you might be missing. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on finding rare coins or learning about hidden gems like this one, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You'll be the first to know when I drop more tips and tricks on how to cash in on those pennies, or dimes, or quarters, or whatever else is hiding in your collection. Did you know that a single penny, yes, a measly 1-cent coin, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million today? That's right. You could be holding a tiny piece of metal in your pocket, purse, or couch cushions right now that's more valuable than a mansion. Stick around because today, we're talking about the 2020 D. Abraham Lincoln penny and why it's breaking the bank. Who knew Honest Abe had such expensive taste? So, what's the deal with this penny? First off, it's not just any penny. The 2020 D. Lincoln penny is a rare variety with an incredibly unique error. For those who don't know, D stands for the Denver Mint, where this coin was produced. In 2020, a small number of these pennies were struck with a die error that gives them a distinct and highly sought-after appearance. Collectors love errors, especially when they're rare. And this one has collectors practically throwing their wallets at auctions. Why? The error gives the coin a slightly double die effect on Lincoln's profile and some of the lettering, making it a numismatic superstar. It's like the coin version of a celebrity who accidentally went viral but in a good way. Now, let's talk money, because that's what we're here for, right? The 2020 D. Lincoln penny recently made headlines when one of these error coins sold for $1.7 million. That's like finding a pot of gold at the end of your sock drawer. The crazy thing is, these coins started out in circulation just like every other penny, but their rarity and that error bumped up their value faster than a meme going viral on the internet. Collectors and investors scrambled to get their hands on them, and the price skyrocketed. Imagine buying a candy bar with this penny back in 2020. You'd basically be trading away a house for a Snickers. Here's the good part. You want to know if you have one of these babies, right? First, grab your magnifying glass or a loupe. Look for the mint mark D under the year. Then, Check for doubling on Lincoln's face or in the letters "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." If you find something unusual, don't panic. Get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. And hey, don't go cleaning the coin. It's like an antique. The grime adds character and, in this case, value. One time, I accidentally polished a 1936 Buffalo nickel I thought was just dirty. It turned out I scrubbed away half its value. Lesson learned: never underestimate the power of dirt. Let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out her old sewing kit. You know, the one where she kept every button, random safety pin, and, you guessed it, loose coins. I stumbled upon a strange-looking wheat penny. It turned out to be worth $200. That penny paid for my first fancy dinner date. Ever since then, I've been obsessed with checking coins. The thrill of possibly finding treasure in your spare change? It's addicting. So, do yourself a favor. Go grab that jar of pennies you've been ignoring and start digging. You never know what you might find. All right, friends, now it's your turn to be the treasure hunter. Check your pockets, raid your piggy banks, and give those coin jars a good shake. Who knows? You might just find your own $1.7 million penny. And hey, if you love learning about coins worth money and other surprising ways to strike gold, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips and tricks coming your way to help you turn pocket change into big bucks.